Hello guys and welcome to a new video in physics. In this video, we will talk about practice problems about the conservation of momentum. In the beginning, we have here the first question, which is question number 17. Two freight cars, each with a mass of 3 times 10 to power 5 kilogram, collide and stick together. One was initially moving at 2.2 meter per second and the other was at rest. What is their final speed? Define the system as the two cars. So as we learned in the beginning, we should write the the noun and the unknown from the question. So here for this question, we will write the noun and the unknown. For question number 17, in the beginning we will write noun just like this and the unknown here. Let's write it here. Here we have the unknown and the noun for this question. We have two freight cars, each with a mass of 3 times 10 to power 5. So that means the first car equal to the second car, and that's equal to 3 times 10 to power 5 kilogram. Collide and stick together. One was initially moving at 2.2 meter per second. That means the first velocity we have v1 initial, that's equal to 2.2 meter per second, and the other was at rest. So we have the v initial for the other one, so v2 initial, that's equal to 0. The unknown here, we should find the final speed. So we need to calculate final speed. So it's vf. We need to calculate it. Define the system as the two cars. In the beginning, we know noun the for the question and the unknown. So in the beginning, we will write our law. So our law is P initial equal to P final. What does that mean? That means P1 initial plus P2 initial equal to P1 final plus P2 final. We can write our law just like this. We knew that P equal to mv, so we will write it like this. Here m1 v1 initial plus m2 v2 initial, and that's equal to m1 plus m2 v final. We wrote our equation like this because the two cars will move in the same velocity, so we write it like this. In the question, we have a note that m1 that equal to m2, which is equal to 3 times 10 to power 5. So that means here we have the same mass for the two cars. So we will write it like this: m v1 initial plus v2 initial equal to, Here we have M1 plus M2, which is, as we said, it's equal. The two cars equal in the mass, so we can write it as 2m v final. Now we need to calculate v final, so we will divide the two sides on 2m. So we will have v final equal to m v1 initial plus v2 initial over 2m. Here we have the same mass, so we can remove this m with this m. And now we have in the noun of the question, we knew that v2 initial equal to 0. So v final, we can say that v final equal to, here we have the magnitude of v2 initial, that's equal to 0. So here we have just v1 initial. v1 initial, which is equal to 2.2. Over here we have 2. So the final result, v final, equal to 1.1 meter per second. And this is the final result for the final velocity to the cars. This is question number 17. Now we have here question number 18. 0.105 kilogram hockey puck moving at 24 meter per second is caught and held by a 75 kilogram goalie at rest. With what speed does the goalie slide on the ice after catching the puck? Define the puck and the goalie as a system. So, as we learned in the beginning, we will write the noun and the unknown for the question. So here we have question number 18. Question number 18. Here we will write noun and here unknown. So from the question we have 0.105 kilogram hockey puck. So that's represent M1, the first mass, equal to 0.105 kilogram. This is the first mass. Moving at 24 meter per second, that means the first velocity v1 initial equal to 24 meter per second is caught and held by a 75 kilogram goalie at rest. So we have in the beginning the second mass, which is m2, equal to 75 kilogram. Before here we have at rest, so that means the velocity v2 initial, that's equal to 0. With what speed does the goalie slide on the ice after catching the puck? Define the puck and the goalie as a system. So that means we need to calculate v final, which is the unknown for this question. In the beginning, we will write our equation, which is P initial equal to P final, and that led to P1 initial plus P2 initial equal, here we have M1 plus M2 all multiplied by V final, because the movement, the final movement or the final velocity is the same, so we can write our equation like this. In the beginning, I have from the noun that V2 initial equal to 0, so that will equal to 0. This is equal to 0. So our equation will be P1 initial equal to M1 plus M2 V final. Now we need to calculate V final, but before that, we can write P1 initial like M1 V1 initial equal to M1 plus M2 multiplied by V final. We need to calculate V final, so by multiplying the two sides by M plus M2, our equation will be V final equal to M1 V1 initial over M1 plus M2. So V final equal to, now we will write the numbers that we have in the question. So V final equal to the first mass, we have it in the question, which is 0.105. So 0.105 multiplied by 24 over 0.105 plus 75. By using the calculator, V final will equal to 0.034 meter per second. And this is the final velocity, the final result for the velocity, which is 0.034 meter per second. Now we have question number 20. Question number 20 is 0.50 kilogram ball traveling at 6 meter per second collides head on with a 1 kilogram ball moving in the opposite direction at 12 meter per second. After colliding, the 0.50 kilogram ball bounces backward at 40 meter per second. Find the other ball's speed and direction after the collision. So in the beginning, we will write the noun and the unknown for the question, and after that, we will solve the question. So in the beginning, we have here question number 20. Here we have a noun, and here we have unknown. So the noun for the question, we have 0.50 kilogram ball traveling. So we have the first mass M1 equal to, we can write it as 0.5 kilogram. Traveling at 6 meter per second. So V1 initial equal to 6 meter per second. Collides head on with a 1 kilogram ball. So we have the other mass M2 equal to 1 kilogram. Moving in the opposite direction at 12 meter per second. So we have velocity initial for the second one, which is because here we have in the opposite direction, so the velocity will equal to minus 12 meter per second. After colliding, the 0.50 kilogram ball bounces backward at 40 meter per second. So we have the final velocity. Here we have the final V1 final equal to minus also minus 14 meter per second. Find the other ball's speed and direction after the collision. So we need to find V2 final. V2 final. We need to calculate it. So in the beginning, we will write our equation, which is here we have the solution. Our equation is P1 initial plus P2 initial equal to P1 final plus P2 final. Now we can write our equation like M1 V1 initial plus M2 V2 initial equal to M1 V1 final plus M1 plus M2 V2 final. We need to find the V2 final, so we will convert this law to the other side. So our law will be M2 V2 final. That's equal to this one we will change it to the other side. So our equation will be M1 V1 initial plus M2 V2 initial minus M1 V1 final. Now here is our equation, and now we can write our numbers. So before we write our numbers, here we have the mass, the second mass, which is equal to 1 kilogram. So we can ignore M2. It's up to you. You can ignore it now or after that, after writing the numbers. It's up to you. I will write it 1 V2 final equal to here we have M1 equal to 0.5 kilogram, so it's 0.5 multiplied by V1 initial. V1 initial we have it, which is 6 meter per second, so this is 6 plus M2 V2 initial. We said that M2 equal to 1 V2 initial. This is V2 initial, which is equal to minus 12 meter per second. So 1 multiplied by minus 12 meter per second minus the first mass, it's equal to 0.5 multiplied by V1 final. We have V1 final in the question, which is equal to minus 14. Now we can find V2 final. V2 final equal to, here we have 0.5 multiplied by 6, that's equal to 3. Here we have minus 12 multiplied by 1, that's minus 12. And here we have minus multiplied with the minus, so that's positive. And 0.5 multiplied by 14, that's equal to 7. So V2 final equal to 3 minus 12 plus 7, that's equal to minus 2 meter per second. And this is the final result for V2 final. Until here, we reached to the end of our lecture. See you soon in another one, inshallah.